How's it going, everybody? My name is FaZe Crypto, and today we are talking about Ripple XRP. So I know a lot of people have been looking forward to the Ripple launch of Xpring, and of course, this is going to be a really big thing for entrepreneurs. And essentially, when I think about cryptocurrency, it's really exciting when it comes to considering how entrepreneurs are given so much potential to really participate in this growing space right now. And anybody who's owns a business should definitely look into incorporating some of these developing technologies. Even if it's not Ripple, there really are a bunch of amazing technologies involving cryptocurrency. And any company that adapts to cryptocurrency early is essentially giving themselves a fundamental advantage over the rest of the competition. And as we continue to see this space develop, it's going to essentially overtake the entirety of the space, and essentially things like these sort of announcements that we're witnessing are going to become the new normal, and the technology based services that are being provided right now are really unprecedented when it comes to the way that the individual has the potential to really participate in a world that was essentially blocked off due to the limitations of technology for so much time. And now it's almost amazing how much is available, that it's amazing how little people really can comprehend, because there's so much potential made available by the internet right now in so many different regards that it seems as if the public is unable to adapt themselves to it and fully leverage these sort of things to their advantage, which is fundamentally why we'll start to see almost every single business out there that doesn't fundamentally find some way to fit into the cryptocurrency space. Well, we're going to see them overtaken by the ones that are more advantageous of the times. It's really the old story of adapt or die. And fundamentally, I think that the market will decide where the things are going to be headed in the future. And of course, we're going to be seeing a lot of different bumps along the way, especially with the market cap being where it is at 380. That slight downward movement, we all knew that it was coming. Clearly, the upward momentum has to stop at some point, and it is interesting to see how the public has been responding in respect to the current situation regarding cryptocurrency. And it definitely is interesting to see how the spaces continue to develop and move forward. And when it comes to Ripple and cryptocurrency in general, it is definitely interesting to see how celebrities and so forth have been responding. I mean, seeing Snoop Dogg giving cryptocurrency a shout out. I think Katy Perry was tweeting about cryptocurrency. And it is interesting how these celebrities have jumped on board with these tech trends. And I think that it really says a lot for how decentralized media and different cryptocurrencies like that are going to be playing a huge role. Of course, Ripple is going to be playing a huge role when it comes to the mass adoption of cryptocurrency. And I think that's one of the fundamental reasons why we've been seeing celebrities, which is a really interesting injection into the public consciousness, because it's trending to talk about cryptocurrencies, which is really important when it comes to how the public develops and how these things continue to move forward. And the fact that it's seen as the new wave of these sort of things is definitely interesting. And of course, I understand we'll see all these FUD articles talking about how trying to shit on Bitcoin for trying to shit on Ripple for being a banker coin. And honestly, I think seeing how the banks are getting involved in cryptocurrency is a positive. I see the fact that the banks aren't going anywhere. And when it comes to Ripple, I understand the banks being involved in cryptocurrency is sort of opposite when it comes to the way that people perceived the original idea, the original philosophy of cryptocurrency sort of revolved around the libertarian perspective. And I understand that basically Ripple and the establishment and so forth is sort of on the opposite end of that. But I'm only interested in money. Call me whatever you want for that. But at the end of the day, if Ripple is going to be the banking technology, I understand that the establishment isn't going anywhere. And of course, when you see these sort of things in the news regarding Ripple and the potential, it is really interesting to see how this technology in particular has developed the reputation that it has moving along this certain path. It really is interesting to see how the technology is on the forefront when it comes to the various different levels of the establishment and how these different technologies have been developing and moving forward. And I think if any cryptocurrency is going to be added to Coinbase, I think Ripple is really at the forefront and is one of the more likely technologies to be added to Coinbase. And especially when we look and we see the various developments that have been happening. I'm actually going to be including a link to this video down in the description below by Dusty BC, which goes into really interesting detail regarding Ripple and so forth, and exploring a lot of the different variables that have been coming together involving this technology. And it seems as if these sort of rumors regarding these technologies going on Coinbase, they surface every once in a while, and it is definitely interesting because when these it really is a sign of the times when when Bitcoin Cash got added to Coinbase, for example, it saw an amazing boost, and it seems to be a boost that goes across from every time a technology is added onto Coinbase. It gets that attention from the people who use Coinbase, which is fundamentally seems to be people who are new to cryptocurrency, but of course anybody really uses Coinbase, but for the most part it seems as if people who are just getting introduced to it tend to gravitate towards it, which is interesting because they the way that sort of investment is reflected in the overall totality of the market. I mean, in the top 5, those are all technologies. I mean, we got Bitcoin on Coinbase, Ethereum, all these top technologies are on Coinbase. So I think that there is a space for Ripple. That would honestly mean that the top 4 would all be on Coinbase together. But in support of this rumor, I mean, it is obviously just a rumor, but of course I always find it interesting to look into the rumors, and I know some people find it annoying to hear about the rumors and so forth, but I always find it important because there are always seeds of what we can expect in respect to the potential that's in store for these technologies. And just taking a quick glance at the various different things that are on Mitsubishi partnerships with Ripple, test new payment system. I mean, Mitsubishi, this is a very big name. Interesting article by the Global Coin Report. And of course, I always say that you should take these different news articles with a grain of salt. But of course, it is interesting to see these sort of household names that are establishing these deals with Ripple. And I always say it's important not to sleep on Ripple. I think it's important to always at least pay attention to it because it is a indicator of how cryptocurrency is being adapted into the public consciousness one way or another, especially when it comes to Apple and the various different developments that we've seen occurring all across the board when it comes to Ripple. So I think that Ripple does have a fundamental potential of being added on Coinbase, which we would see a boost in the value of Ripple in the light of that. But even if it isn't added on Coinbase, I think Ripple definitely is going to be one of those substantial technologies. I think add to Coinbase is inevitable. Eventually we will see it added. It's only a matter of time, especially with all the different developments that have been happening with Ripple. I think the potential to see Ripple overtaking Ethereum for that number 2 position is there's a probability that is measurable in respect to that. And of course, my understanding of Ripple is fundamentally data driven. I find that it's important to look at the team that's behind these technologies and really develop a understanding from a perspective that takes all the different details into coordination. And with that being said, I'd also recommend that you follow Ripple on their verified account on their Twitter page, just because Twitter is a really great resource when it comes to gathering information regarding cryptocurrencies. And I also found it interesting that when you're on Ripple's Twitter, the first person who they recommend for you to follow is Coinbase, which is kind of funny. And but I definitely recommend that you guys follow any cryptocurrency related content, or even if you don't have a Twitter, I'd recommend that you make one. This show actually has its own dedicated Twitter as well. If you're interested in connecting with us, you can do so by using the link to Twitter, which is provided at the top of the description. So anybody who's interested in connecting with the community, the whole purpose of this channel is to share information regarding cryptocurrencies and so forth, and that's what we do. But of course, remember, this video is for entertainment, educational purposes only. This content is not financial advice. This video is basically just me sharing my opinion, and remember, I'm not your dad. The whole purpose of this video is just for it's a discussion that goes in all different directions. So if you'd like to share your opinion and so forth, feel free to send me any information on Twitter that you'd like to be covered in a video, or any channels and so forth of videos that you think are interesting and worthy of a shout out. And of course, we're giving Dusty BC the shout out for this video. I recommend everybody go and follow that content. And yeah, it is really interesting to see how the community has been responding to these different developments that have been happening across the board when it comes to Ripple. Really one of the most interesting technologies as far as I'm concerned. I definitely recommend just paying attention to this technology moving forward. But of course, remember, it's not financial advice. It's just recommending you should do your research and come to your own conclusions. And I think, in my opinion, Ripple speaks for itself. But all that being said, I hope you've enjoyed the content. Remember to subscribe to the channel, and of course, comment down below letting me know what you think about Ripple. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.